40 years ago, the first issue of India Today magazine came out in 1975. And in the initial years of its publication, when India was reeling under questionable declaration of emergency, no one could have imagined that 1491 issues later, it will still speak its mind. The man who has been relentlessly editing this magazine for past 4 decades has seen it all and, in his own words, told it all.
It began in the confines of this office space. It still is, almost as it were then, preserved in a time warp, shielded by history from the toils of time. It was here, at desks like these, that the first articles were written. It was here that I gathered my first team. It is here that India Today was born.
India Today, which you see today, is born out of a failure. Indians abroad are starved for information for India, so we should start a magazine for Indians living abroad. So that's how the idea of a magazine came about. And we then launched it in '75. It so happened the emergency came in between all this. We didn't succeed because we couldn't reach out to the Indians. They were too far spread out. So we said, before we close it down, let's put the magazine in the Indian market. And there we got a good response, because it's completely different from any other magazine.
"40 years have passed and we are still counting. 1,491 issues without a break. That I have been the editor of the magazine. A cradle as well as canvas on which a legend of India's most talented journalists have honed their craft, of reporting stories from the ground, of telling India the news."
It was just a boom time for magazines. People hadn't seen color magazines, very colorful reporting, critical, analytical. It was completely different from the magazines which had existed before.
From the fateful plane crash at Chanakyapuri that took Sanjay Gandhi's life, to the suicide bomber who killed Rajiv Gandhi in Sri Perambaddur, from the malevolent rise of separatist leader Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale in Punjab, to cross-border terrorism in the killing fields of Kashmir and the Northeast, from seesaw relations with America to toxic rivalry with Pakistan, from the Earth Summit to COP21 in Paris. When something has to be told, it has to be told.
Don't take anything for granted. Get to the bottom of everything. Don't take anything at face value. This all helped in journalism. Simplify things, de-jargonize it, make it simple for the reader, make him understand issues, and then, of course, an appreciation of good writings.
From the empire writing back through Salman Rushdie, Vikram Seth, and Arundhati Roy, to the rise of the celluloid superstar, and from Kapil's Devils on the Lord's balcony to a stunning Olympic gold in Beijing 2008. India has changed so much over the years. So has Indian life, and with it, India Today.
Arrival of 24-hour news has changed the way magazines, stories are written, perceived. You assume that the reader already knows the news very well, has seen the visuals. So you have to come up with things which are unique and exclusive for him. You have to take the story forward. Most of news events are, TV news is led by news events. Reading something has a different feeling. So being more analytical, bringing more understanding, better perspective, context, this is the job of the magazine.
I looked at the magazine from an ordinary reader's point of view. I think all stories should answer two questions. Why should I read it now? And what happens next? I wanted the magazine to paint a picture for the reader with words, transport them to the spot as if they were there.
Go get the story. So if Tiananmen Square was happening and the whole world's attention was in Tiananmen Square, we sent a person down there. It was not very common in Indian media to do that, right? The Soviet Union was breaking up, right? So we sent Shekhar Gupta there to see what was the effects of that. So there was always this idea that we will go and do whatever we can to get the story and get the best story. So that was the attitude. We really didn't think about, anything else.
Bringing out India Today has meant that we have worked with no affinity to any party, no allegiance to an ideology, and we have bowed to no agenda. Our mantra is get to the truth and present it in the best way you can. We have been accused of taking one side or the other, sometimes by both sides simultaneously. And all these years, I thought I was just doing my job. I'm still at it. I have survived to tell the tale.